I did a little clicky click, a little clickaroony. I did a little click Oreo. Clicker, a little click, a little quick click on a video. It said it was like how, I don't know. It was about like 90 movies from the 90s and the 2000s. And it really got me thinking about these. Not thinking. Sorry, I went on a YouTube binge of all the old '90s commercials. 2001 commercials. Very strong AP. Very strong. Very brought me back. Dragged me back kicking and screaming. I couldn't fight it. You make a movie, you point a camera at something. When other people watch your movie, they're forced to see what you see because the focus is exactly where you wanted it when you made the movie. You play you write a piano composition. If you write it from the heart or from the heart or whatever. Literally, you're forcing other people to feel the way you feel. It's not like optional for them. If they're paying attention, that's just what they're going to get. There's not much room for interpretation. They just have an emotion in their heart when they listen to your music. Okay. So at least for piano, if you play some piano piece, you're not going to. It's not optional the way it makes you feel. It's just there. It is evoked in your heart. I tweeted about this oh my god, like a month ago, like 2 months ago, like yuckaroonie, I'm disgusted. Yuckaroonie. I'm convinced that there's just two people. There's just two, like I call it the brain and the skin. It's my brain and my body, right? But the brain is more than a lump of flesh in your head. It has sort of imperial control over all the body. It demands information from sense information, touch, sight, etc. It demands information from all over your body. Like, you have these nerves, and your brain just demands a piece of the cut of the information from your nerves. But your body takes that information and processes it as well. Your body, I think of it as the skin. Like a human is a lump of clay that you drop a brain onto, and the brain just infects it with its tentacles, with its roots. The brain spreads its roots in the clay, and it causes the clay to stand upright. has a symbiotic relationship, and we don't know exactly whether it's, so, sometimes it's for the better, other times it's for the worse, other times the brain is just a parasite. The brain serves its own needs. The brain is there to look. The brain is smart. Okay, humans DNA. It makes a brain, right? The DNA has enough code to make a brain, but like, imagine a creature that with enough DNA to have two of them, to make two of them like in the womb, and then they separate at birth. It's one DNA, but it's two beings. It's the same thing. Your DNA makes your brain and your body. But I want a new word for the body. And they're two different entities, and they have different desires, and they input, they take in your sensory data, and your brain does something with it. Basically, AP comes from your body. AP is what you see when there are things that your body understand. There are like basic concepts that your body understands. Things like love, hate, having friends, being in positions in a hierarchy, social standing, sort of amount of like seriousness versus playfulness. These things all come from your body, and these things are all AP, and your body. So essentially what I'm saying, essentially my model of the experience of a person is that you have two entities, the brain and the body, the five sense: sight, touch, sense, smell, hearing, and taste. Your body understands. Understands the input from these on the very sort of basic level. If you're, and the body, I think. By the way, the body is what has gender. The body is where gender lies. The body is what's male or female. Brains, I think. Like my guess is that bodies are gendered and brains aren't. And by body, I mean, I don't mean physical body. I mean like the entity which processes sensory information in a gendered way. A person with a woman's body would look at a man and say, "I'm attracted to that." A person, and the other way around. And the brain's like, "Why am I attracted to that?" And the body's like, "This is a woman, sorry." And so the body has 5 senses, and the brain has 6 senses. The brain has 6 senses. The brain, look, the body just the body has AP. The body like AP doesn't mean anything really to the body. It's sort of like a baby. It just cries. sort of like a baby. It just cries. It goes wah wah. It's not very coherent, but you know, you can the brain sort of picks up on the messages, picks up on the sounds that the body makes. Says, oh, this is that's the AP, or that's the AP you're giving me. Well, I better get, you know, you're sad. I better go do something to feel happy. That's the brain is like the brain has 6 senses. The body has 5. The brain has 6. The body and brain share the regular 5, and then your body gives another sensory input to your brain, and that's what akin to a baby crying, saying that it needs something, and the brain having to figure out what it is and you know, giving it to them. I sort of went on a little odyssey of AP tonight. It's what, 5 a.m. almost. I watched this video about old about 2000s movies. It was like there was a little. I was sort of blown away by this little clip, this little snippet of a quote from someone who worked on the Powerpuff Girls. There was a Powerpuff Girls movie, allegedly. Powerpuff Girls movie, and the guy said that the Cartoon Network executives had requested that the movie be taken in a more sort of mature direction. And it said they cut some of the jokes and added darker themes. It said like they wanted to be marketed towards 25-year-old men. And it said like we were like the testing ground for what would become Adult Swim, and I was like, wow, that is so right, and that is so interesting, and that is so interesting how it that sort of backstory. I was conflicted between like it's just a dumb company. They want your money. And it is dumb. Adult Swim, like, I'm not a fan. There's nothing good on. Cartoon Network isn't good either, but I really liked what I saw. I liked this vision of the past. Reminded me of Joey Block. Sorry, I shouldn't say his name. It reminded me of my friend. He's more of a Nickelodeon guy. I remember my mom told me a story one time of how I was at the hospital. At some point I was in the hospital. People would come up to ask me what I liked. They say, "Oh, Daniel," they say, "Oh, what do you like?" And said my name again. I'll just put it private, it's fine. They say, "Oh, what do you like?" They'll say, "What things are you interested in?" And my mom would tell me that I would say, "Cartoon Network." I would would say, and I like Cartoon Network, and I would just not say anything else. I just like Cartoon Network. I understand the hype now. I understand why I would say that cartoon. There was an AP. It was real, so strong, so potent. It's like you're drinking syrup. Normally I don't feel anything, and I felt something while I was watching these old, just cereal ads. There was like a 30-minute compilation of, children's advertising. And they put so much effort into it. They put so much work into it. They built sets. They wrote songs. Like, they got a band together just to write some little song about Chuck E. Cheese. And it was so lame, these cartoons. The Chuck E. Cheese cartoon was pretty lame. And no one acts. That's got to be something that formed the way I think, because like no one acts the way that people act in commercials. The way you see people acting, the way you see kids get excited about playing in commercials, never happens. There's no such thing. It's not real, okay? And when I was younger, I thought it was. I thought people just did get that excited about things. Just the promotion was incredible. The effort for a little 15-second commercial. They were having these outdoor parties, and these with people like really excited with cameras. Like, there should be a place where they're just doing that all the time. They're just having this non-stop party. It's for these little kids. It's supposed to be kid-friendly, not ruined by, degenerate adults. I had just an idea of like what I was supposed to be. Just I had a sort of blueprint of how to be. Social. So they had an advertisement for all these toys that they had come up with this dumb television show about it was called like Ugly Martians or something like that. And they just had this I watched this commercial with all these toys because I have one of the toys. I wanted to see what it looked like. I remember having this toy, and I did have it, and I recognized it. It was this yellow toy. It was this like yellow suit, yellow plastic mech suit with this little monkey-looking alien inside. this commercial. It had just so many different products. There were these plastic guns and swords, and they had these shoes, like they call them like cruisers, right? And you just buy these shoes, and they were like Heelys, but they had two rollers, right? And that you could kind of extend them out. I'm sure they were like really dangerous, but you could just buy them. And they all looked like generic toys. Just you can go to a supermarket now and buy generic plastic toys, and this was just like that, but it had a television show associated with it, which I felt was cooler. Like we need these we need these cultural sort of focuses, loci. We need them. We need these. To some extent, we need our brains programmed, right? We need these we need the culture, we need the art, and we need it to all be like standardized so that we can get along with each other. And yes, it's lame to like do the same thing as everyone else does, but not really, because that's how you get that is it. But I'm not saying that is a way. That is the way. That's like, you want to get along with people, consume the same media, consume the same it would have been so cool. The idea to me is so cool to just to be a little kid, and I'll watch this television show with just this stupidly thick AP. What is it? What is it? How do I bring it back? Just like an old McDonald's with the play place or whatever. There was an advertisement for that. So crazy. It's just a dumb little maze of tubes. But if you watch a television show, then you know what you're supposed to pretend to be. Okay. It's easier to lie. It's easier to pretend. Just to be this cool kid who watches Cartoon Network all the time, has them just that slightly like dingy basement, sort of like where everything's sticky. You got everything on VHS, and you just watch Cartoon Network, and you get all the movies, and you're just that kid who knows everything about all the shows, and you You're like with other people who have the same cultural anchors. Burger King Big Kids Club. It was they called it a Big Kids Club. I believed them. Because it was so cool for there to be a Big Kids Club as a little kid. So cool to finally just join the because like I'm here now and there's nothing. There's no initiation, there's no signifying of passing from one phase of my life to another. That's why I still feel like a kid. That's why I still feel immature, irresponsible. That has to be one of those things the body understands is these ceremonies where you transfer from one time of your life to another. It has to be socially recognized, right? There has to be some sort of consensus. It just doesn't feel like anything I do matters here. I don't know why I'm here. I got to thinking about my mom had a church friend, this Japanese church friend. I did when I was like 4 or 5, or yeah, probably about 4. We would go over to their house. We would go to a lot of people's houses. That's where I get the idea from anyway. It was kind of cool. There were lots of kids there. It was for a church group. Mainly, I remember there was this Japanese woman had a son and a daughter, and they had these transforming toys, and I spent like an hour trying to find the one that they had. It was like a blue ring, and I don't think it was a Transformers brand toy. I think it was a transforming toy, but it didn't turn into a vehicle exactly. And there were two of them. I remember asking to play with one of their toys, and the girl, the daughter, came up from the basement with two of them, and she was like, "Which one do you want?" And I pointed to the blue one. I still remember the look on her face, like she was really, like she was like she wasn't going to put up with me much longer. Like she was, or like she was resigned. She's like, "Oh, gotta be a good host," but she, very transparently, not happy about having to be a good host, I guess. Whatever. It's not a big. Come on now. This girl had to have been like 5. You're not gonna. Come on now. Another place where there were lots of kids was my preschool. I went to preschool at a church. There were lots of kids there. They all had Game Boys, and they all had Pokemon. They all, had Pokemon battles, and they were all really cool. They weren't like cool, but they were popular. I'd like to find out what happened to all those people. I remember their names. One of them had the initials BM. I thought that was I had little snickers at that, because in our family, we use the phrase BM as a shorthand for bowel movement. Don't remember his last name. There was another one with TM. Trent. I remember hanging out with them. They didn't like me. Trent and Boone. Don't remember their last names. Different guy. I mean, different last names, but there was a girl there too. I actually sent her a friend request on Facebook. She denied it. It was kind of recent. I wish I'd, I don't know. There was just a day when she just stopped. I just stopped seeing her. I guess, or, no, it doesn't matter. It's weird because she's like Christian from what I've seen on Facebook. I don't know why she would have stopped going to church. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about this 38, 34, 38, whatever. 38:45 is the current time in the video. 39 minutes, started 39 minutes. Basically, I have a need to be interesting, a need to be different, a need to stand out from other people, need to be relevant, and whenever I'm in a conversation, I need to add something to the conversation. I need to contradict people or have them learn something or have them think about something in a new way. And the reason I'm, hypothesis, and I've thought of this before. I've recognized this thought. I just haven't recorded it. This is I must have thought this back in way back. I want to be a TV character. I want to. Everything I say is really dumb, but I want to be very smart and well spoken, as though my lines were written. Because fictional characters never die. Fictional characters live forever. There's no restraint. They don't go back to nothing. They their lives have purpose. Okay, so imagine there's a fictional character whose purpose is to be oh no, life has no purpose. Their purpose, they have a purpose, and that purpose is to inform real people, real audience members. There's a point at which they're interacting with the audience, but they still have a purpose to inform you that you have no purpose, okay? You are a real person with no purpose. I am a fictional character. I am on a mission to tell you. And sure, I might do a little song and dance to make you think otherwise. But trust me, you're gonna hear about it from me. Fictional characters literally don't have any problems other than the ones that are portrayed, which are always solved or they die. Fictional characters have meaning to their existence. I personally want to be a fictional character. Oh yeah. Fictional characters do not. It is proper for a fictional character not to have control over their own lives. Fictional character acts according to the plot, which is written by the author. Fictional character the character-driven plots versus plot-driven characters or whatever, but whatever. I'm gonna have to think about that one a little bit more. What's different? So being that I'm a real person, it has to be better for me to be a real person instead of a fictional character. And now I have to find out why.